I'm really looking forward to your talk. Welcome back, guys. So now we are in our next session with the amazing, who's also the co-host today and doing all the backstage support, like being such a legend today, Tristan Griffiths, his Chief Inspiration Officer. When I asked him what's your title, Chief Inspiration Officer, I was like, I love that. That's amazing. So his topic today is standing out with content marketing. And so he's, of course, a technical genius, and he's all about the online world and digital, and especially the current climate we're in. Digital growth is so important, and doing it right. So over to yourself, Tristan. Blow us away.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Saman. I'm going to quickly bring up. I'm actually going to do slides. I quite often don't present with slides. So this is going to be a very fast-paced session. So if you're excited and you're ready to learn how to do your content marketing, taking less time and getting more done, then please do let me know down in the chat whilst I quickly bring my slides up on screen for you. And we're going to whistle through. There's going to be a lot of content here to get through in the next 20 minutes. So it will be fast-paced. So bear with me. As soon as you can see the slides, let me know in the comments, and we'll get started straight away. So brilliant. Okay, so we're going to go through the let's quickly whiz through this. So this is all the content you're going to get today, loads of it. So here we go. Today I want to talk to you about content marketing and the reason you need to show up online. We're going to talk through a couple of quick examples, and I'm going to whistle through this. I can talk about this in depth because I've set up my personal brand using content. If you don't know who the gentleman is that you can see on screen right now, his name is Gary Vaynerchuk, better known as Gary V, and he uses this phrase that you can see on screen about day trading attention. Digital marketing, social media is all about day trading attention. It's the currency of the online formats. No matter whether it's video or written or audio, you need to day trade attention to stay in people's minds, to stay in front of people. So really important way to do that when you're creating content. We talk about a principle called the 3 E's. And when you start creating content, you need to use one or more of these 3 E's every single time you do it. The first of which is to engage. If you're not engaging with people, then you're just creating for the sake of creating. Now, engaging is first, because even before you create any content, you can actually go and engage on other people's content to start building an audience ahead of doing anything else. The second one is to educate. We've talked about sharing what we know, our stories. This whole event has been filled with speakers with great stories to tell, but we're educating on how we can help, what we have to offer, or things that will make other people's lives easier. The third one is to entertain. You can make people laugh, you can make people feel better, you can entertain them. So as long as you're doing one of these 3 E's, your content will deliver well. Now, I'm going to whistle through this slide because it's a really big one, but we get asked all the time, what platform should I be on? And there isn't a simple answer other than you need to show up where your audience is. So it depends who you're targeting, where they spend time online. And I can go into this in our booth. If you want to come and chat to me about this, we can talk through that, and I can help you identify platforms that you might not think of straight away, that might be platforms that would help you grow your business in areas that you didn't think. Now, I'm going to give an example of that as we go through, but getting started is far easier than people think. When we're talking about content marketing and content creation, you only need 2 things to get started. No, not a light bulb and an iPad or a phone. It is literally a smartphone, a smart device, and an idea or knowledge, which you've all got. If you're here, you have experience, you have knowledge, you have stories to share. You're just probably holding yourself back because you're not sure exactly how to do it. And that's quite common. So I wanted to just touch quickly onto types of content that are relevant in today's age. And I'm not going to go through these in detail because of the time we've got today, but feel free to grab screenshots, get involved, share them on social. You know, these slides actually show you that you can go through and share this stuff as we go through. So some of the examples here that we give are, you don't need to worry so much about content creation. A lot of people fall into the trap with content creation because of the phrase. They think, I have to be creative, I have to know exactly what I'm going to be doing, and that creative part is what holds them back. If you start to think about it differently, sharing behind the scenes, showing some personality, opening things that have arrived, maybe you've written a book and you've got the first draft and you can read a small section of it. There's lots of ways that you can open up and share content that is going to make things much, much easier. This isn't by any means an exhaustive list, but grab a screenshot if you want to. These will be made available later. I'll give them to Saman to send out all of these slides. With your content marketing, there's 4 key things that you need to think about as we go through this. Firstly, why are you showing up on social? What is the main purpose of what you're doing on social media and creating content? Is it to raise your brand awareness? Is it to make sales? Is it to grow that audience? Whatever the purpose is will drive how you do your content creation. Once you know that, you can then define what does the brand tone sound like. For me, it's high energy, it's unfiltered. You can really connect with me across social and get to know me personally, as well as the knowledge and expertise that I've got and what our agency delivers. Once you know that, you can look at the platform of the content types that are going to work best for you and for the audience that you deliver for. So your audience will be different to my audience, and then you need to be focusing on what content to create and where to create it for. And then you need to look at where, when you're posting that to platforms, when are we going to do that? Are we going to do it manually? Are we going to schedule some of that? And the content types that speak to each different platform that will serve you best. Now, this is a whistle-stop tour thing, but I'm still going to make it interactive. So if you're here and you're enjoying learning about content marketing, at some point during this talk or by the end of the day, I want you to go to social media and share a screenshot. It could be a picture of you sat at the desk watching this, show us something about being involved in this conference and this summit that shows you're interacting, that you're engaging, and that you're taking action. It's easier to create content around someone else than it is about yourself. So share your biggest takeaway from the talk today and share that on social. Could be a selfie, could be a picture of the screen, could be a screenshot, I don't mind, but share with it your biggest takeaway. Make sure you tag me, I'm Tristan G, and use the hashtag I'm Tristan G as well, so that I can find it. The reason for that is when you do it, not only are you sharing about what I've taught today, I get to interact and I get to share my audience with you. So it's a two-way street. When you're talking about me and the summit, myself and Saman are going to go and comment, share, interact, which is going to bring our audience to you. So it's not just a one-way interaction. Really, really important part of this is looking at the tools that you can use for your content creation, right? You can do this all manually, or you can jump in and you can get tools in place. I'm not going to dive into all the tools you can have, but simplistically, having a plan, having a calendar, putting tools in place that make your video creation, your graphic creation, your blog writing easier, quicker, and then having a scheduler that means you don't actually have to be there to show up on social as much as you think you do. It'll make your life easier. No matter what you do, the content that you share needs to be compelling. If it isn't, people aren't going to engage with it. They're not going to hang around. I've talked about user-generated content down here. User-generated content is exactly what I just said to you. If you took action, you would have literally grabbed your mobile phone, turned around, taken a selfie of you watching, and then as you go through the session, shared it to social media. As a user or a customer or a client, you can create content for the summit and for myself in the same way that we're getting you to do it. You going through the process is a good way for you to understand how your customers could do exactly the same thing. These are the examples. So if you don't believe content marketing works, give me just a couple of minutes to change your mind. This gentleman is a very high-end business coach in Australia called Kerwin Ray, and he had been told by Gary Vaynerchuk, that we've seen at the beginning, who's arguably one of the best internet marketers of our current day. He'd been told to join Snapchat and he hadn't done it. Now, if you don't have how, what, and why, that's why most people don't take action. You can know 2 out of the 3, but you won't do it unless you understand all 3, how, what, and why, which is what we're covering today. So at the end of a conference that he was running, I spoke to him about the fact he didn't have Snapchat in his social platforms, and I asked if he'd entertain a conversation. That conversation consisted of 5 minutes sharing 3 facts and taking 2 Snapchats with him, which you'll see in a second. He signed up on Snapchat because he suddenly understood what, why, and how, and he took action in the room before he left the building. So taking action is what it's all about. He then went on to make $67,000 from a standing start over the next 8 weeks on a platform he'd never used before, because he got how, what, and why. This literally $11,000 of that was in the first 11 days. So if you'd like to make that sort of money, let me know in the comments. I know certainly most people we talk to would love an extra bit of income like that from a new revenue stream. What it took for him to do that was a new mindset. It wasn't that he didn't understand it, he didn't know. He had been told, he'd seen people doing it, but he didn't have how, what, and why to make it work. So we changed the mindset on how and why it worked. One of the reasons that this works so well and so effectively is attraction marketing. Now, attraction marketing is super, super important. Attraction marketing is the whole concept of people wanting to come to you rather than you going to them. I'm just really quickly going to pull my slide share down for a second, because I want you to understand we're having a conversation all the time with people online. No matter what business you're in, what industry you're in, you are having the opportunity to do business with people all the time. And it's so, so important that you understand where we're at and how this works. So I'd love to know right now, are you showing up on social media, or are you, worried about how you're appearing and how you're creating content? Just going to bring those slides back up again. It's really important that you guys get this. So attraction marketing is doing your marketing right so that you understand people can come to you. Imagine waking up to people messaging you with a speaker opportunity or a potential contract or collaboration. Wouldn't it be great to have that happen to you? I know this works because I've done it, and I do it with our clients and help people to understand this. Content marketing is not a quick fix. It's a long game. It's an investment. You need to put time and effort and energy into it so that you keep showing up, you stay consistent, and people get to know you over a period of time. That's going to help you to raise your visibility. Great if you're a speaker, because that content you create is going to get you seen more and open more doors and raise your profile. So great opportunity. Most people don't invest enough time into content creation and content marketing because they see it as disposable. I want you to change your mindset today, just like Kerwin did about Snapchat, to understand that everything you create is a valuable digital asset. It will last you and serve your business longer than the amount of time it takes to create. So think about it as a digital asset that will serve your business longer. It's also not about you. As much as we love it to be about us, our business, our product, our service, it is not about you. And I'm not sorry to tell you that, because when you make it about the customer, the viewer, the follower, the person in your community, that is when the magic happens. You've heard this before in other sessions, but I'm reiterating it because it is so important. It is not about you. This next picture is a completely different example to prove it's not a one-off, it's not a fluke, it's something that repeatedly can be created. This is a queue of 600 people outside of a venue that used to struggle. It took 3 weeks for us to turn this venue around from struggling and getting 50 to 200 maximum in a 600 capacity venue, all the way up to 1,200 people through the door every single week. It was all about changing things around. We increased their attendees by 500% and their profit margin by 300%. Who else would like that kind of result in their business? And it took 3 weeks, and it was half of the time that we planned to do it. So things can go faster than you anticipate, but you have to have a plan, a strategy, and a structure in place for it to work. What it took for them wasn't a new mindset, it wasn't anything like that. It was a new approach to doing their marketing. We took everything on and put a proviso that we could run it how we knew it would work. And sure enough, 3 weeks later, you can see here, there's 2 great testimonials. In fact, he was so impressed, he wrote 2 different testimonials on my LinkedIn. I'm going to read you this one really, really quickly. To say Tristan did a good job with our social media would be a huge understatement. Not only did he grow our presence online, but he also took the event from a reasonable Tuesday night out to a capacity event, having a regular queue down the street and sell-out guest list week on week with over 200+% capacity every single week. He skyrocketed our brand awareness and in turn our profits at least 5-fold. I can't recommend him highly enough. If you want to grow your brand, ask him how to do it. He definitely knows how to deliver results. That testimonial is an example of user-generated content. I didn't go to him, I didn't push him. When you deliver results for people, they will say thank you. They will give you testimonials, feedback, send you messages. That all becomes content. This is all great, but what about you? I want to talk to you about how this works for you so that you can get the most out of this too. People are interested in great stories. You've heard some great stories already today. It's your turn to start telling your story. I said content creation is difficult because people think about it wrong. If everything that you do, which seems day-to-day, mundane, boring, maybe just average to you, document it because it's interesting to other people. People love a great story. They love connecting with you. So start documenting rather than creating. When you do this, you'll understand that it moves into conversations. If you post good, compelling content and stories online, people will comment and you will have conversations engaging in the comments. It's an opportunity to socially sell. If you don't know what I mean by this, it's not selling on social media. It's the art of selling without ever having to sell. We have had someone join a one-to-one program after never commenting, never liking, none of those vanity metrics. They came in after consuming our content for a whole year. They came in and bought the most expensive product and service we have because they could see we were consistent, that we carried on providing all the way through the whole year. So they showed up and they said, right, I'm in, and they came in at the top level. It literally works for you around the clock. They are digital assets that will serve your business longer than they take to create. Most importantly, get your stuff backed up. I could talk in depth about this. It's a big topic. I could do a whole session on it, but start using tools that allow you to back everything up. If you don't back it up, you're going to be missing out. The strategy that we've used works cross-industry, and you could create your whole social media feed content in 30 minutes a month. Yes, that's right. It's the equivalent of a lunch break of someone in a job. It's your knowledge, your expertise, and your industry that will set you apart and help you to do this. Feel free to grab a screenshot of this. We actually do a full workshop of this, but essentially if you share your knowledge through video, you can repurpose it, reshare it across all different social platforms and show up across all the social platforms in as little as 30 minutes a month. Just a couple more seconds to grab that screenshot, take a photo. If you want to grab the slides, they'll be available too. It's easier to get much more from social when you understand stop selling, start serving, and stay social. These are the three things you need to do on social media that really, really works. It's about engaging. All of the magic happens in the comments. Don't just post and walk away like a lot of people do. Get involved in the comments and have a conversation. That's it, a super fast whistle through, a few useful resources for you on screen. This is definitely a screenshot because I'm not going to go through this. These are a lot of the tools and platforms that we use to make sure that you can get all of this done. Grab a screenshot. I can talk through them in the arena as well. When you start to do this, you'll see your profile raise. I'm in the top 1% for my network and my industry on LinkedIn. You can check out your social selling index over there by using linkedin.com/sales/SSI, as you can see on the screen here. And it analyzes how you're performing online and if you're making the right connections and selling. As I said, everything is content. This is literally just me doing what I do. You can see all the different bits here. Published a book, do a lot of speaking, teaching, training, and I love going out clubbing, hence the bar example that I've given you. But that's it for the talk today. If you want to connect with me, you can do that over at in9.media. In fact, if you visit us in our booth, you will find that we've done a special deal for anyone who wants to join the paid side of that at 50% off for everybody who's on the sessions today or on the replays. But you've got a free community there where we'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening on social. That's it. That's me done. Actually, slightly more than 29 slides. I'm going to share something honestly here. You may have noticed the hashtag change halfway through. I was actually running off the wrong slide deck and I changed in the middle. So about how you handle conversation and how you hold yourself as a presenter, I knew that I could pull it down knowing what slide it was and switch presentations. So not afraid to share it. But Mr. Thank you so much.
Who said men can't multitask?
I'm running off 3 screens as well. So if people could see it, it's an incredible
First of all, amazing. And you just zoom through some amazing notes. I try to take down as many notes as possible. I was keeping an eye on the time, but I think we can forgive a couple of minutes here and there adjustment. I'm sure Suzanne is fine. I've been messaging her in the back. But yeah, that was amazing. And I'm so grateful to have connected with you, grateful to have you on board, excited to speak to you in the booth, hopefully later. But if not, we're going to catch up at some point. And yeah, definitely, guys, 50% off. Honestly, the amount of content creation that him and his team give you guys, honestly, it's amazing. So do definitely
the real context of that is I deliver training like that once a week in a community for the equivalent of £15 a month.
On that note, guys, I'm actually part of the community, and it's an amazing platform. There's a lot of like-minded people you can connect with. There's all these trainings and workshops available on there, so do definitely register, and you're getting all this free content as well, so why not? Also,
brilliant. Right, being respectful of everybody else, thank you so much, Saman. I'm going to jump into the backstage of the next bit because I'm doing the tech, so I'm going to leave to go to the next session. But thank you all for tuning in. Please do grab me in the break in our arena on the booth, and I'll have a conversation with you over there if you wanted to ask any questions.
Perfect. See you guys over there.